Hi, everybody. I'm Rory, founder of Perforated AI. Welcome to this wrap-up meeting for the hackathon that we ran together with Weights and Biases. We are very excited about how things went. At the last hackathon we ran, we had 100 participants and less than 10 submissions. This time we had almost 700 people sign up. We had 71 submissions. We also had 10 new use cases that we've never seen Dendrites applied to before. And we also took a bit of a shot trying out this hackathon inception idea, where there actually was one win for that category so far. We saw a super broad spread of use cases, from images to natural language to tabular data across a large number of diverse applications, really achieving our goal for this hackathon to show that dendritic optimization is completely model agnostic, data type agnostic, pretty much everything agnostic, as long as someone is building their ML application with PyTorch. I would like to start taking a second just to thank all of the judges. We had 15 people join us to review your project from the VC world, industry professionals, people from academia. It was great to have everyone take their time to review these projects and help us pick the best ones. Also, a special shout out to Mo from Weights and Biases. We're super happy to have been able to partner with you guys on this. Please also send our thanks to the rest of the Weights and Biases team for their support and for putting up those 2 pro memberships for us to give out as prizes. Before we get started, I know a couple judges have offered to give their high-level perspectives and thoughts about the projects. Samarash, I know you were one. Why don't you go first if you're here?
So I saw, really good, awesome projects submitted by various folks. I have reviewed 9 projects, and personally, I have, ran on my laptop. I have the laptop. This laptop has 4 GPU core, and also I have, Office laptop, Z workstation. There I also ran some of the projects that were, some of the projects were taking too long time and high GPU compute was required for reinforcement learning related things, and all some was related to the image detection one. So I ran those projects and locally generated the data and compared the result what they have in claimed into the README. So I found that result was almost matching. There was a little bit difference, but it was a great experience by in judging those projects. I have judged at till now somewhere around 8 hackathons, but this was one of the best. So I saw every folks have put their best effort to create their projects. So that's all I would like to say. And this is a good company, like Perforated AI. So they have created awesome library, I would say. So that's great.
Thank you so much. Those are very kind words. I think, Eamon, were you also had something to say?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Rory. Thanks to you guys for working on this. It was really awesome looking at what you guys have worked on. And it was particularly really impressive to see how applicable dendritic approach was across different modalities. I feel like that's what affected me the most. It's like to see different creative modalities. Like usually a specialized technique in other hackathons I've judged, the projects were very niche, but here it was really refreshing to see a widespread of different areas that people have been working on. It was really awesome. Also, a quick word to those who didn't win today or who've been putting in the work for this. The project that's usually tuning into companies. I don't know if you guys have ambitions to spin whatever you've worked on as startups or anything like that, but they the projects that end up being succeeding in the long term rarely come from the first hackathon you do, the second hackathon you do. They're the ones where the people actually realize why it failed and iterate and keep improving. It's never over until it's over. As long as you keep improving, you're bound to achieve something. So now whatever you've made, whatever you've been working on during this hackathon, you have a working implementation of a cutting edge optimization layer on whatever drug modality or whatever area you've worked on. So I feel whatever you've been working on, you should keep it pushing and you should see it through, and don't give up just because you didn't win, because obviously could only be one winner today, but just because you didn't win does not mean what you've worked on is not awesome, and you should definitely keep it pushing and keep working on it.
Cool. Thank you. And we'll also have some time at the end if any other judges would like to add anything. But let's move forward for now. Getting into the outcomes and talking about these prizes. We, of course, have the three main prizes for a total of $6,000, as well as 2 Weights and Biases Pro memberships. And we also decided along the way to give out over $1,000 in some extra honorable mention prizes, just because we really wanted to talk about some more projects that we thought were particularly cool. And we figured if we're going to be talking about them on this call, we should probably award some prizes for them. And then there was also that one winner of Hackathon Inception. But let's get started with the honorable mentions. The best image classification is one that went to fruit and vegetable labeling. This one really only wasn't rated higher because we do see a lot of image classification projects, but this one was really great amongst them. It used a realistic commercial data set, a valuable industry model as the architecture it was optimizing, and got really impressive results with 47.1 error reduction. The judges also rated it very highly, and the numbers and implementation looked great. So congratulations, Rairo, for the best image classification prize. The best financial project goes to Prashman. He was able to take a data set about credit card defaults that banks might use for better decision-making about loans to reduce financial losses. So great industry applications. And to show that dendritic optimization with the model could get 3% better scores while also using a 33% reduced parameter model was just a great result. The numbers, especially for the improved scores, are smaller than some of the others, but when working with tabular data like this, it can sometimes be very hard to see any improvement at all. And with financial projects, even small changes like this can have really big impact down the line.
Definitely. I can jump in and maybe JJ, since you're also coming from kind of the business VC side, I'm curious if you can bring this one to life for us a bit. So I always look for kind of what value could this create for a customer? Say if we were addressing this type of model for a client, and how valuable could that be for them to get something like 3% improved scores or a more efficient model? I think one that you get value from both, I guess, but depending on the use case, accuracy or efficiency will matter, some more than others. I think I'm hearing a lot about cloud compute costs and how if you can make your models smaller and more efficient without sacrificing accuracy, instead of spending $10 million a year for a small model to run constantly, maybe they'll spend, 6 or 7. And that's really meaningful difference. And it has helpful implications for how we think about going to market. But JJ, would love if you have any perspectives there on kind of value capture.
Yeah, so not a ton of kind of direct experience here, but just wanted to sort of emphasize your point on the kind of significance of a 3% improvement in score. Generally, consumer credit underwriting, whether that's credit card, auto loan, that sort of thing. The existing models that we have are quite performant, and so just being able to demonstrate 3% improved score on something that already is fairly predictive is quite fun. And and of course, in addition to being able to reduce losses, better models can also help banks and financial service institutions grow their market. If they can expand the sort of types of consumers they can underwrite credit to, that can also have a huge impact on the bottom line there.
Thank you. Next up is the best medical project. This was our first successful 3D dataset, which was a really cool factor. They applied a 3D segmentation UNet to do MRI brain scans looking for tumors. The dataset, the model, and the dendritic impact all got a lot of points. But on this specific MONAI dataset, the expected results were still a lot kind of higher than the final dendritic results. So lost some points for the hackathon. But going back to what Eamon was saying earlier, this potentially would be a great project to keep working on. If you would be able to tune these hyperparameters to get that initial model even higher and still see the same dendritic impact, this is a project that could have some serious impact in real world settings. So congrats on Best Medical to Oyabun on GitHub. I only have your GitHub handle, but congrats on the great project. Next up is the Best Graph Network project. One of our first really big kind of wins for me in my time perforated over the past year was getting a official example into the PyTorch geometric repository, which is the official repository for PyTorch graph networks. So we were really happy that somebody did a project using PyG in the hackathon. They used a graph isomorphism network and were able to reduce the error by a whopping 47% on this blood-brain barrier drug screening data set. Great impact on a graph network, and they had a very clean output graph showing that it certainly was the impact of Dendrites getting these improvements. So congrats on Abhishek for the win on this one. Next one, I am just going to call most hackerist. This participant put in their very first submission very close to the final deadline, and they had chosen the very ambitious plan to create their own Dendrites. And when I first messaged them to let them know that they actually did have to use our repo, I thought on such short notice the project was not going to get submitted in time at all. But in most hackerist fashion, they truly threw themselves into this for the time between that message and when the final submissions were due. They monkey patched our repository to enable custom dendritic modules to be used instead of the default PyDendrite modules, which just copy the original Neuron module. They updated everything they needed to do in their code to get this working and even hit a 23.6 error reduction on their training with just minutes to spare before the submission deadline. We always thought that custom dendrites would be something people might want to do down the road, but did not think anyone would be doing it this early, and certainly not for this hackathon. So Parth, seriously, great work, and thank you for all that effort. Congrats on the $250 Most Hackerist prize. This first one is a project that I personally really loved. I first got into AI because of robotics, so robotics will always have a special place in my heart. Judges who reviewed this also agreed it was a great result on a challenging problem, and that Pi output graph just looked really clean for this project. I also thought it was really cool that they started with a very simple architecture for the actor and critic on this TD3 reinforcement learning application. And after dendritic optimization, that 13% improvement got the reward scores to be what I was reading is kind of the top possible scores for any TD3 approaches on this project, even if they have much more complicated models for the actor and critic. I've also used dendritic optimization for very simple reinforcement learning before, but this was way cooler than any RL I've done with it. So I love this project kind of pushing our RL use cases to another level for the type of projects it can be used for. This did in fact win third place of the $1,000 prize. Congrats to Nicholas. Second place will be going to our first dendritic language modeling project. We've done some natural language processing projects in the past, just with classification and those types of applications. But this is our first time the repo has been used for Gen AI, and the first direct evidence that this is something that potentially all the LLM creators should be taking a look at. Judges all agreed that the 11% improvement was a great result, and specifically, it was nice to show that with Dendrites, an architecture which was originally flatlining on validation scores, while training perplexity continued to just overfitting, that the model could be optimized to increase the validation score further using Dendrites to start to get more value out of more loops through the training data. So congratulations to Abhit for the $2,000 award and a full year pro membership to Weights and Biases. And in first place, a project that myself and almost all the judges agreed as the top scoring project is Team Neuron AI, with a project applying YOLO to the Pascal VOC dataset. At Perforated AI, we are out talking to machine learning engineers all the time, and when talking to folks working with computer vision on edge devices, the majority of them are doing object detection, and the majority of those are using YOLO. And up until now, we had to tell them that our system simply doesn't work with object detection yet, and we'd have to come back to them. Someone at our last hackathon actually also tried to do a YOLO project and failed to see results. I have personally tried to get YOLO working in the past and have failed to get the Ultralytics official trainer working. So this project, rather than using the Ultralytics trainer, switched it out for a standard PyTorch training loop with the YOLO architecture. They selected the right hyperparameters so that their trainer achieved the expected results that a YOLO V11N should achieve on the Pascal dataset. And then they showed that dendritic optimization is in fact compatible with object detection by reducing that error by 5% on top of the baseline. So we are thrilled to add object detection to our list of proven use cases, even more thrilled that it's working with YOLO specifically. So Team Neuron AI, thank you and congratulations on taking the grand prize. You'll be going home with $3,000 and also a full year pro membership to Weights and Biases. All right, and next up is the Hackathon Inception. Congratulations to Vishy Gopal. The hackathon was the Edge Impulse 2025 hackathon. Edge Impulse is an online platform for building, training, and deploying machine learning models on edge devices in a simple end-to-end workflow. They hosted a hackathon to use their platform to do a cool project or build a cool model. This project set about to take one of their example tutorial models, optimize it with Dendrites, and send it back. 800 hyperparameter sweeps were performed and shared within the project report. The 800 experiments showed that for this keyword spotting audio application, across the board, dendritic architectures achieved the highest accuracies and did so with the fewest parameters. The project was selected for the Best Model Award in this hackathon, which was worth a whopping $5,000 from the team at Edge Impulse. So Vishy, congrats on that win, and congrats on the extra $500 from us. And that's it for the prepared slides. Thanks everybody for joining this call. Thanks for all the hard work going into these projects. Thanks to all the judges. Thanks you for Weights and Biases. We are very thrilled about all the cool stuff everyone was able to build and hope you all continue to apply these on your future ML applications. Judges, if anyone else would like to say anything, feel free to just go off mute. And for those in the audience, also feel free to just hop off mute or type your questions into the chat. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't have anything. It was a great honor for me to judge the projects here in this hackathon. So it was really a nice experience from my side.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for judging. Loved all your comments and going in and checking out the code as deeply as you did.
I was not able to, judge more than 2 projects in one day. So it was taking a lot of time to, play with it. So yeah.
No problem. I think you did more than anybody else. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
And likewise on my end as well, I really enjoyed going through all the submissions. They were all quite thoughtful and yeah, a bunch of them were quite fun to read through. I also wish I had more time to go through a few more, but congrats to everyone that participated.
And I might just add that I was really impressed to see the degree to which the hackers were willing to dig in and really figure out this super frontier tech. For context, like when we work with clients as well, like I haven't come across, anybody who can kind of just read this quickly and implement it directly. Like there's a certain amount of complication that you need to really dig in and understand. It's like a brand new thing to be wrapping our heads around. And so including with kind of our customers and clients, it's not immediate. It takes some work. And I was just really impressed that the hackers like put in that work and got to really stellar results. So I would say for those that did and did not like receive a prize necessarily, I would love to stay in touch and, continue to offer Rory's time to be helpful and to continue to get your feedback as we develop the product, find kind of the most applicable use cases for it. The 600, 700 people that participated here are like a super valuable, right at the heart of the people globally that are willing to experiment. So thank you guys.